And we have apparently a roadmap. This guy always looks like a Bond villain, I feel like. If you were not nice to this guy in school, he wrote that down, and one day, in like 20 years, he's gonna make you pay, you know? He's gonna make you pay.
To make the world a better place, I just want to be a little tidier.
Greetings all! As you'll no doubt be aware, the launch of No Step Back expansion last year was the climax of a busy year of development for the HOI4 team. And it continues to be one of our best received releases to date. Yeah, my opinion, No Step Back was amazing, great DLC. We live in a world full of trash games nowadays, and No Step Back has... I didn't expect much and it was just great. It was really good. I have to say about No Step Back is that, unfortunately, every time Paradox, the HOI4 team makes a DLC about something, that something dies. They made Amanda Guns, which was about Navy. Navy died in meta multiplayer, right? Submarine freeze and airplanes are the Navy. Now they made a tank DLC, and now when you watch meta games, look at the great game, no one does tanks anymore. And if you ask why, it's because the good players know they're too expensive. It's not worth it anymore. That's always a bit weird. Of course, the last year also saw the departure of Podcat as game director, who was reassigned to Siberia. Greater things than Paradox. Many of you will also have read the roadmap document that was produced towards the beginning of HOI4 development and are asking questions as to the veracity of the plan under a new director and whether I have a different idea and plans to announce. That both Podcat and I see HOI4 in broadly similar terms. This hasn't changed, and you can expect to see many of the parts of the previous roadmap make an appearance at some point in the future. My approach to a grand plan, however, may be somewhat different. I have a preference for leaving plenty of space for reactive development, something that served as well an Imperator. I fully agree with this. I think I don't know what he means, but reactive means you see what the community wants, right? And while there are many things that I feel are ripe for future development, I'm also keen to leave a lot of space for changing course of blah 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 blah. There are two main points I want to raise before we get into details, however. Firstly, we intend to up the tempo of releases. This is of course an ambition and not a promise. However, it informs some further decisions related to the development of HOI. Namely, that we are considering ways to change how and when we release information on development to you folks. Since faster development is the goal, this also means getting ideas into public view slightly faster for feedback and conversation. We're not exactly sure how this will look yet, but it's likely that there will be a reorganization of the traditional Dev Diary schedule into something that feels less like a milestone delivery. This comes in tandem with a need to shift the community's expectations on what in development means, getting fans accustomed to seeing placeholders with balance and half-built systems in early phases and seeing things develop as time goes. The last major point here is that we recognize a need to maintain the game as well as to develop it, especially if development pace is picking up. We're still considering how best to achieve this, and I'm watching initiatives such as the Custodian team on Stellaris. What, the Custodian team? As mentioned above, the 2020 roadmap of HOI4 included many things which have now either been completed or rendered unnecessary. This leaves several from Podcat's list which I believe are still important. For example, improvements of frontline stability. Yeah, we all know what that means. Long-term goals and strategies to guide AI. Improving peace conferences, obviously. Update core national focus trees with alt history paths and more options. Italy, for example, yeah. Wunderwaffen projects. I never thought about that. That's fucking epic. I always reminded myself, one thing I loved, it's so simple. In HOI2, Hotspire 2 was that when you researched nuclear reactors, you unlocked the nuclear engine. You could have nuclear submarines and stuff. I always felt that would be great in HOI4. That once you have the nuclear tech, it kind of helps a bit. Like the tanks can have a reactor. No, that's weird, right? Like a carrier that has a nuclear reactor in it. More focus trees, more differences between sub-ideologies and government. Make defensive warfare more fun. Adding mechanics to limit the size of your standing army, particularly post-war. Okay. Have doctrines more strongly affect division design and strategic and technical AI improvements. In addition, I will of course add some of my own personal intentions. These are probably more important because he's the boss. Great power diplomacy. This is one area that I feel doesn't need much explanation. More diplomatic tools are a clear area for expansion, and a careful look on how this module can be developed without interfering with the overarching global war is likely to happen. The economic system is very abstract in HOI4, and I do not foresee ever making it a major part of the game loop. This said, there are elements of industrial economy that I feel should be looked into. Okay, immersive. Whoa, wait, is this the TommyKay element here? Optional tools for making your mark on a game and or development of further building blocks to enhance attachments to the HOI4 campaign. Bring the simulation to life. I'm very interested in that one. You guys know me. And of course, many like battle planner, blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. So this achievement is going to be tedious as fuck, man. Astana to form Siberia.